Hello, Iris.
Thank you for coming over on such short notice.
Well, the cloak and dagger.
Come outside. I don't want anybody eavesdropping.
You're being so secretive.
Well, it's about Jamie.
Why, something happened?
Well, no, what I don't know. It's just that I'm worried about his involvement with Paulina. And quite frankly, I think you should be too.
Paulina, I think there's a spot over here you missed.
What? Where?
Oh, I am just kidding. This place is probably sterile. You could stop working.
Look, Adam Carter's going to be here in a few hours with his film crew. I want everything to be perfect.
The documentary is about Grant, not about the clinic.
Yeah, but we still might be on TV.
Is that why you're so dressed up?
I just wanted to look my best.
For Grant or the documentary?
It's not what you think.
Are you sure? You asked Grant to support the clinic.
The clinic needs all the help it can get.
Then it's not personal on your end, but what about Grant?
Grant is a politician. This is a good cause for him to support.
He's right. You know his platform pretty well, don't you?
I support Grant politically. Don't make it any more than that.
Is it really over between you two?
Jamie, I'm married to Jake now. Grant and I have gone our separate ways.
You really can't expect me to believe that, Paulina.
Why wouldn't you?
Because I don't think Grant could ever forget a woman as extraordinary as you.
No, the cops are calling it a freak accident. Not yet. No, the explosion is still being investigated. The tape machines are 2 brick walls away and about 100 feet. The tape wasn't damaged. I should have a final cut of Lady Killer by early next week. I will. They're loving this. You're so sick. Whew.
Nurse, that wouldn't happen to be going to Frankie Frame's room.
Yes, it is.
Oh, great. I'm glad I caught you. Let me just look. Liver for a vegetarian. Not good.
The doctor hasn't ordered any special meals for Miss
Well,
Frame.
we want to give her a reason to live, and believe me, that's not it. She's going to much prefer what I have in this bag.
Is it chocolate chip cookies?
No, this is fresh carrot juice and a veggie burger, and for dessert, a little wheat German kiwi tart.
That combo makes liver sound good.
It does, doesn't it? Well, anyway, to top it all off, I brought her 6 of my novels.
Only 6?
Hey, hi.
Hi.
Have you been in to see Frankie yet?
No, I just got here. In fact, I thought you'd be in there.
Well, she was asleep, so I checked out jury selection for Carl's trial.
And how did it go?
You should have seen him, playing the reformed human being routine to the hilt.
Anybody buying it?
It's too soon to tell. His attorney is extremely sharp.
Well, Carl, best money can buy.
Yeah. Frankie was hoping to be in on this and see it for herself. I hated leaving her today, even for a few hours.
How is she feeling?
Oh, she's much better.
Wow.
But I can't believe how close I was to losing her.
No, that would never happen. You need each other too much. I mean, you proved that.
I hope so. I think so. Felicia, I love her so much. I don't want us to be apart ever again.
Yes. Hi, Felicia.
Hi.
Glad you're here. Frankie's waiting to see you.
You go ahead. Here, give her this, and I'll be back in a little while.
Are you sure?
Yes. Felicia and I'll go get some coffee.
Oh,
or
good.
something,
That's great.
okay? Yeah, Frankie says she has something incredibly important to tell you.
Take me away to another world.
you suggesting, Iris, that Jamie and Paulina are having an affair?
Marley, I never said that.
Oh, I understand. Now you want me to side with you against Paulina. I'm sorry, I have better things to do with my time.
Marley, please, calm down.
I happen to trust Jamie, Iris.
Look, I was not suggesting that Jamie has a romantic interest in Paulina. I'm merely pointing out that he seems to be suddenly becoming her champion.
Well, he's always been very protective of her.
I'm glad you noticed.
It's been hard not to.
Marley, you do know that Paulina is about to inherit a large portion of my father's estate, and I intend to stop it.
Why?
Because Daddy created that special trust for us, and I don't want Jake getting his greedy little hands on Paulina's share.
Iris, I think that's up to Paulina, don't you?
Maybe it is, but my father did not intend that money to be squandered by a gold-digging spouse.
And that's what you think Jake is.
Well, amongst other things.
Iris, he never touched any of my money. In fact, he was very offended when I would offer to pay for anything.
Come on, Marley. Jake's faults are far too numerous to
All right,
even
what
list.
does this have to do with Jamie?
Well, Jamie thinks I'm picking on Paulina. He won't listen to a word I've got to say about it.
I see.
He thinks I'm trying to deny Paulina what's rightfully hers.
Well, I think he just wants to treat her as a member of the family. I think he wants to trust her.
Oh, and that's exactly what Jake and Paulina are depending on.
Iris, do you really think that they're trying to con the family?
Yes, I most certainly do. And I'm glad you can see it for what it is. I just wish Jamie could. Do you think you could talk to him?
Oh, Iris, please. I have no idea what I would even say.
Well, just tell him that Paulina's best interest will be served by her holding off on her inheritance for a while.
All right, I'll talk to him.
Thank you. It's very important that the family are united on this.
Look, I'm not promising you anything. I just know that sometimes Jamie's generosity can get the best of him.
Well, remember, we're on the same side, darling.
No. The only side I'm on is Jamie's.
The role of Grant Harrison is now being played by Mark Pinter.
Good production here.
How's this, Adam?
Fine, Grant. I'd like to keep the cameras rolling while we're having lunch.
Sure, why not?
Can you handle a few personal questions, Grant?
Well, it depends.
Well, let's start with what the voters want to know. How did you feel when your former fiancée, Paulina Corey, married Jake McKinnon?
You want some more coffee?
No. You've babied me enough. I just want to work.
You sure you're up for this today?
Positive.
Kathleen, I know the McKinnon pride only too well. You want to level with me?
Jake, there's just been one disaster after another ever since I came back to Bay City, and it's all my fault.
That is crazy.
No, it's true. When I heard that you were in a coma, I felt completely responsible.
Nothing to do
I was
with what happened to me.
convinced that Carl had you shot.
And you were wrong. You may be a jinx, but you can't take credit for this.
I'm more than a jinx. I am a disaster zone. Look at all the people who have been hurt since I came back.
Because of Carl, Kathleen. Because of Carl.
Joe was killed. Rachel was nearly killed. And now Frankie.
Frankie did a brave thing.
Carl planted that bomb for me.
Looks that way.
I haven't even gotten to thank her yet.
Why not?
I just think I'd be the last person she'd want to see right now.
You know something? You're not going to be good to anyone until you go see her. Want me to go to the hospital with you?
No. You've got a good heart, you know that?
Yeah, well, you're the only one that thinks so.
Frankie's going to need a lot of rest. John says it's important just not to get her riled up.
Well, the last thing I want to do is get her upset. I just want to tell her how much she means to me.
It might be better to let her talk.
Honey, can I talk to you for just a second?
Yeah, sure.
I'll meet you by the elevator.
Okay, great. I can almost hear what you're thinking.
You can.
Yes, you're about to get on your white horse. Please, Cass, take this slow.
What do you mean?
I mean, don't go in there and ask her to marry you.
That's what you think I'm going to do?
Weren't you? Cass. Come on. She will only feel like you're pressuring her, believe me.
Thanks. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you.
I don't mind. I've been doing a lot of snoozing.
You're following the doctor's orders, that's good.
Pretty amazing, huh?
You sure are. I thought I'd never see that smile again. Give me a bit of a start this time, Mary Frances.
It was touch and go there for a while, I admit.
They told me you were gone, that it was hopeless. And when I held you in my arms, you'd stopped breathing. I never felt so powerless or prayed so hard in my life.
You know I'm not a quitter. You didn't think I was going to make my exit that easily, did
I
you?
didn't know what to think. But I knew I couldn't let go of you.
You sound pretty sure.
I am. We went through something really extraordinary together.
I agree. But compared to the last couple of months of my life, death is a walk in the park.
Nice try, Adam, but I'm afraid my personal life is off the record.
Grant, you're asking the voters to put you in the Senate for 6 years. They want to know everything about you.
Hello, Iris.
Grant?
How are you?
Hi, Adam.
Hello, Mrs. Wheeler.
I hear you're doing a profile on the congressman.
I am.
That's wonderful. He's the obvious choice for the informed voter.
Well, I'm afraid the voters won't have as much information about Grant as they'd like. He's being very closed-mouthed about his personal life.
Can you blame him? It's not honorable for a congressman to kiss and tell. I'm disappointed in you, Adam. Why didn't you call me? We could have sushi sometime.
Iris has a unique perspective. We're friends.
Friends? You mean the way you were friends with Charlene Hudson and your brother's girlfriend, Victoria?
I've told you before that my past could hurt you. Could cost you your career, I'm sure of it. It still could.
Did you hear what I said, Grant? You all right?
Never better. I've just remembered something I have to attend to immediately. Would you excuse me?
Well, how long are you going to be? We haven't even had lunch.
Why don't you order without me and meet me at the clinic in an hour? This can't wait.
I've got 100 tables sold so far, $3,000 a pop. Not bad for a beginner, huh?
Fantastic. You are great at getting money out of people.
What do you mean by that?
Nothing, Paulina. Just that you've become quite a fundraiser, that's all.
Well, it's much easier to ask for money when it's not for yourself. That didn't come out right.
I know what you meant. You don't have to get defensive.
Well, it's hard not to be when you keep asking me so many questions about Grant.
I asked because it seems like you still care about him.
I do, Jamie. All right, I do. But only as history. You know, living in foster homes all your life, you learn not to look back. I'm concentrating on Jake now and my future.
Whatever you say.
You said you'd help me with the dinner dance.
Well, from the looks of things, I don't think you need any help. You're doing great.
So far, all I've done is sold some tickets. Now there's all this awkward stuff that you need some PhD in etiquette for.
Paulina, most of what's required is common sense, and you have got it.
Oh, but Jamie, I know there are rules. I don't want to look ignorant. I don't want to embarrass myself in front of the family or embarrass the clinic.
How could you do that?
The only parties I went to before I moved in with you guys were the ones Marcia Cantrell threw. And we got like a big bag of potato chips threw in a big bowl, and everyone cheered when the grown-ups drank beer or did shots.
Paulina, you left that life behind.
Well, sometimes it seems like yesterday. And I'm still the girl in the hand-me-downs.
You grew up great, Paulina. Don't forget, you're a Corey.
which is exactly why I'm expected to do everything right.
What do you think you're gonna do wrong?
For starters, I could put all the wrong people at the same table. I don't want somebody ending up in the punch bowl at the thing.
I really don't think that's gonna happen.
All right, I have no idea how to handle the seating, and Rachel wants me to make a chart.
Okay, that is easy. Let me see.
Thank you.
It's boy, girl, boy, girl.
Hey, but your mother said not to put husbands and wives next to each
She's
other.
right. That is a definite no.
Why should you separate people who are supposed to love each other?
You're assuming that they do.
Jamie, most of the people that are going to be at this thing are total strangers to me. I could put mortal enemies next to each other.
Sit down, please. Let's take a look.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. This is what I have so far.
All right. All right, well, here's an obvious one. You have to separate Donna and Michael Hudson.
Ah, how about opposite sides of the room?
That's even better. Now, you don't want to see Spencer Harrison with Ryan.
Well, what about John Hudson next to his brother?
Remember boy, girl, boy,
Okay,
girl?
wait.
Frankie, I've put you through so much. I'll never forgive myself for all the ways I've hurt you. If I knew then what I know now, we'd still be together in our wonderful old house.
Things happen for a reason, Cass.
This was all for the wrong reason.
No. We had to grow. That's what I realized now that I've had a chance to take a good, hard look at my life.
We shouldn't talk about this now.
What are we going to talk about, Cass? The weather?
You're supposed to stay calm and rest, remember? I'll go and come back later.
No, don't go. I need to tell you what I'm feeling.
And I want to hear it. What really happened to you?
I remember waking up in the ER. And I knew I was hurt, but I felt very distant from it, very calm.
I was holding on to you. I wouldn't let go.
Jamie pulled you away, didn't he?
You knew that?
I was watching myself and you guys from outside my body. Do you believe me?
After what we've been through, I'll believe anything.
It felt perfectly natural. It was, oh. And then there was the white light. It was very difficult to turn away from it. I could hear your voice and I wanted to stay, but I had to follow the light.
And that's when you went away from us?
Yes. But I could always hear your voice, Cass. I could always feel you holding me.
You could feel that.
Yes, the light was so peaceful. But your love, it was like this force. It kept sweeping me back. It wouldn't let me go.
If you could feel all that, you must know what I'm feeling right now.
You're not holding back anymore. You love me like you've never loved me before. Kathleen?
I'm interrupting. I'll just come back.
No, it's all right.
You want a few minutes? I'll be outside.
How are you?
I crash landed. But it looks like I'm going to be okay.
It should have been me.
I was kind of hoping that it wouldn't be either of us, Kathleen.
Yeah, well, if you hadn't done what you did...
Don't go getting the guilt, okay? Carl loves it when we do that.
You're right. And I hate to make his day, so...
Just remember one thing. This was Carl's fault, nobody else's.
Yeah, he started it, but it's up to us to finish it.
Maybe this trial will do that. Ryan thinks it could.
Well, also, I've made a decision. I'm going back to reporting.
You are?
Carl's busy rewriting his own history. I think it's time that I set the record straight. I've kept a record of all of the times that he has contacted me and threatened me and tried to kill me, so maybe one of those things will help the prosecutors nail him.
If Carl goes down, something good will have come from all of this.
I hope you feel better soon, okay? And if there's anything that you need, anything that I can do
I'll
for
be
you.
fine.
By the way, however you figured out what Carl was going to do to me, I think you're quite a detective. I really underestimated her. She's quite a lady.
Well, so are you. Just the fact that you came here tells me that.
It's not a contest anymore.
Marley, I didn't hear you come in.
Jamie was just helping me organize the clinic's fundraiser.
Maybe I could help out. I know Jamie's anxious to get to the hospital and check on Frankie.
You sure you don't mind?
No, we'll hold the fort.
Be sure to tell Frankie hello for me.
I will. You can just put those on my desk.
Sure.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You don't have to do this. It's okay.
Well, I know I'm probably a poor substitute for Jamie.
Marley, I've never put together a formal dinner before. Jamie was just giving me some pointers.
Seems to do that a lot.
Jamie's just trying to help me fit in, Marley. Why does that bug you so much? You really don't like me, do you?
No, it's not that.
Well, I really don't care if you hate my guts. I just wish you'd stop looking at me as if you just caught me with my hand in the cookie jar.
Well, maybe if you wouldn't act so nervous all the time, I wouldn't have to.
I'm not trying to come between you and Jamie, if that's what you're getting at. These big social blowouts are awkward for me.
You seem to fit in fine.
Marley, I came from a house where manners were considered a waste of time. Polite conversation didn't exist. It puts me at a disadvantage when I'm in the company of people like you. Do you understand that?
You seem perfectly capable of holding your own in just about any situation.
Well, gee, thanks for the vote of confidence. Maybe Jamie's help is starting to pay off.
Look, all I'm saying is that once Jamie and I are married, he's not going to be able to tutor you.
Marley, all I've ever wanted was a family. And Jamie's been that to me. I would never do anything to hurt him. Or you.
See that you don't.
I always heard you were the understanding sister. I guess I heard wrong.
It's Marley Hudson. I need to speak to Dr. Hadley, please. Yes! It's important. Look, I'm having these mood swings. Everything just seems to be out of control. Ask him if I can come over right away. Thank you. I'll be right there.
Hello, Marley.
Excuse me, I have to go.
Marley. Grant.
We need to finish our talk, Paulina.
It's open!
You're still leaving the door unlocked, Jake? Haven't you learned anything?
Well, I've learned some, Iris. That's why I asked you here.
Well, it's awfully gloomy in here. Could we have some lights or something?
Enough light from the tape. At least that's what you thought the night I was shot.
Here we go again.
So, does this meeting bring back pleasant memories of you going through my pockets while I was lying in a pool of blood?
Please don't be absurd.
You did it. You thought I was dead, so you searched through my pockets trying to find something that proved that Paulina wasn't Mac's daughter.
I was desperate, Jake. You know that.
were. I had an open chest wound, and you left me to bleed to death.
It's still the same old game, isn't it, Jake? Just what is it that you want?
I want you to back off. I want you to stop trying to block Paulina's inheritance.
And if I do, are you planning for her to get any of it?
If you don't, I'm going to tell Rachel that you paid me to dig up dirt on Paulina, bug a room, go to bed with her.
You wouldn't dare?
Try me. Ever since we got married, you've been flapping around trying to cut Paulina out of her dough.
It always comes down to money with you, doesn't it, Jake?
No. No, what it comes down to this time is how much I'm willing to let you get away with. I am sick of your little insults and your snide remarks.
Oh, goodness, Jake, I don't know what
You take
mean.
a shot at Paulina every chance you get. I'm not going to stand for it, Iris. I am sick and tired of you telling her whole family or anyone that will listen that we are pond scum trying to loot the family treasury.
What an apt description. I couldn't have said it better
Get you
myself.
out of my way. I want you to stop trying to hurt Paulina.
Why, Jake? Does this mean that you actually care about her?
Where are the reporters, Grant? I thought you were going to be here with Adam Carter.
He can wait. After what you said to me the other day, I can't let this go.
There isn't much more to say, Grant.
Paulina, you were honest with me for the first time in a long time. Don't shut down on me.
Come on, we had some privacy then.
I don't care why it happened. I finally understood why you left me.
Good. I'm glad you understand.
Paulina, I never thought of you as a know-nothing from the wrong side of the tracks.
But your father did. And so do other people. People who would vote for you, Grant.
You know, I wish my father had never spoken to you when I was in the hospital. Understand, he thought I never wanted to see you again.
Grant, listen. I hated hurting you. But I realized no matter what I did, I was gonna hurt you.
Paulina.
At least now you have your career, Grant, please.
I want you back. I'd rather have you.
Okay, this is hot.
Thanks.
Taking my advice, I hope?
I'm trying.
You know, you and Frankie have been given a second chance. That's a rare gift, honey.
I know.
I just don't want you to blow it.
Felicia, for a few moments, she was really dead. She came back to be with me. She didn't want to give up our future.
Well, there may have been a few other
This
people she wanted
proves
to see.
what we felt all along. We're soulmates. We were meant to be married.
Well, if it's meant to be, it will happen.
I'm going to make sure that it does.
Cass, it's an awful lot of healing that has to happen here.
John's in with Frankie right now. The doctors are calling her their miracle patient.
Did John say when she can be released?
Oh, no, it's still up in the air.
Hey. How are you holding up?
I don't know. I'm still in shock, I guess.
I know how hard this must be for you.
When I told Cass that I didn't love him anymore, I knew it would open up a door for him and Frankie. I just didn't know I would be the one to push him through it. Or that I'd owe Frankie my life.
I know you still love him.
Yeah.
God, I wish there was something I could say or do, something that would make you feel better.
So do I.
How was your talk with Frankie?
Fine. I understand now why you fell in love with her.
Of course I do. Paulina's my wife.
It's funny. I always considered it to be a marriage of convenience.
You would.
Cut the act, Jake. The only thing you love is the cold, hard cash.
Who I love or what I care about is none of your business. I think it's time you're out of my way.
Why? Am I the only thing left in your way,
You should
Jake?
drop the vendetta against Paulina and me.
You're not the one calling the shots now.
Don't be so sure. I think that you should go to Cass and tell him that you've had a change of heart about contesting Paulina's inheritance.
Wouldn't work. He wouldn't buy it.
Well, then tell him that you realize that you're hurting Rachel. Or that you're getting in the way of Mac's dying wish.
Grant, come on, this is crazy. We can't take a chance like this with the election so close.
I don't care.
You have to. Someone might see us, and that would just make everything worse.
Worse. You're miserable, aren't you? Admit it. You married Jake for all the wrong reasons.
It doesn't matter. The point is, I'm married. We can't be seen together, Grant.
You still love me. I can feel it. That's what's important.
Grant, I would never forgive myself if I cost you this election.
Forget about the election. You still love me.
I never stopped.
And there's still a chance for us.
Grant, listen to me. Being with me is political suicide. The press already went crazy when you came between John and Charlene. They would rake you over the coals for breaking up a newlywed and her husband.
I'd much prefer you to a Senate seat anytime.
No, Grant, come on, this is bad timing.
I'm not going to live my life without you, Paulina.
All right. But wait till after the election. If we don't, we could lose everything.
Then you'll come back to me.
If we just hold back a little longer, we can have it all, Grant. Just a few more weeks. We can think about being together again.
I know, that's all I can think about.
If you shaft Paulina, I'll make sure you're the one that really loses Iris.
You're all talk, Jake.
You sure you want to take that risk?
You've got more at stake than I have. I merely hired you to investigate Paulina. You were the one who took gross liberties with that assignment. It's hardly my fault.
I doubt it. Rachel really loves Paulina.
You cross me, and I'll go after your business.
And hurt Matt? Rachel would never forgive you, neither would the rest of the family.
Make no mistake, Jake. I'll find your weakness.
I wouldn't do that if I was you, Iris. We can do this my way, or I can get nasty, and I think if you take some time to think about it, you'll see that being my friend makes a whole hell of a lot more sense.
You're not getting to me, Jake. Not ever.
Paulina tells me that Dennis is back in town, that he's willing to let bygones be bygones, rebuild a friendship. How's that going?
Fine.
Be a real shame for anything to happen to that, wouldn't it?
You leave Dennis out of this.
You see, Iris, I think that you're a lot like me. I think that you want to start over. Be a real heartbreaker if Dennis found all the rotten things Mommy does in a day. Might freak him out so much that he just want to leave town.
You wouldn't do that, Jake.
Just think about it. Have a nice day.
As I told you, your hormones are in a state of flux, and fatigue can be a very common side effect.
It's not so much fatigue as it is irritability.
Is there any depression?
It seems like I just cry at the littlest things.
Yeah. How are things going with Jamie?
Oh, he's very supportive.
Because sometimes couples do tend to argue a bit more when once the fertility process has begun.
It seems like for us the difficult part is just not knowing if it's going to work.
Yeah.
Then people are always asking me, how I feel. It's kind of annoying.
I know. But this drug really, it can induce very intense mood swings.
I know that. And even though that's difficult, I think I'm learning how to control those more.
See, I suspect that there's already a pretty severe hormonal imbalance.
But I'm willing to put up with that.
Well, it's not quite that simple.
Well, you see, to me it is very simple because if I'm on the medication, then I have a chance of having a child. And if I'm off the medication, I could remain childless.
But try to understand that the symptoms which seem mild now could very probably get worse.
Jim, I'm fine, really. I want to continue on with this.
I don't want to put your health at risk.
It's only for a few months.
No, I'm sorry. I really can't in all good conscience let you continue on this program.
Oh, please don't say that.
I want to take you off the fertility drug.
No, look, you
I'm
can't do that.
I'm sure that Jamie, as a physician, would agree it's the safest course.
Jamie wants to have a baby as much as I do.
Then maybe it's time to consider adoption.
I don't believe this. I mean, I came to you for help, and you're taking away my only hope.
Marley, I wanted this to work as much as you
Look,
did.
if you want it to work, you'll keep me on the medication, all right? Look, I'll do anything. I'll sign any papers. I will take full responsibility for anything.
Please, now try to be reasonable and understand that I'm doing this for your own...
I know what's best for me. If you won't help me, I'll find a doctor who will.
Cass is waiting to see you, darling. So is Felicia.
I want to talk to you first.
Okay, something bothering you?
I just have to sort out a few things.
Okay, we'll take your time, because sounds to me like you got a lot to digest.
Charlene, I have always thought of myself as a spiritual person. But until this happened, I never realized how connected everything is. How much we all affect each other. I'm never going to look at things in the same way again.
Does that scare you?
No, I feel lucky. I'm seeing everyone and everything so much more clearly.
You actually saw this white light that everyone talks about.
Yeah. It's hard to describe.
Frankie, they told us you were dead.
I was. I saw it happen.
Was it frightening?
I wasn't so frightened for myself. I was very frightened for Cass. Things are so unsettled with us.
Well, that's what he said, too. That's why he couldn't let you go.
Charlene, I saw my whole life. Everything I've ever lost, all the missed opportunities, the memories, good and bad, every awkward moment.
That must have been so overwhelming.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
It really was. But in a way, it's exactly what I expected. But then something happened that completely threw me. You're never going to believe this.
I owe Frankie a lot.
Well, she doesn't think like that.
Well, I'll always be grateful.
Carl has put all of us through the ringer. It's time we turn that around.
Yes, it is. Well, maybe this time we will.
They're bringing a special prosecutor in to build up the case against him. Unfortunately, most of the evidence that he has is circumstantial.
Carl covers his tracks well.
That's why we're going to have to educate the jury, let them know how he operates.
Yes, I'm going to testify. Ryan and I have already discussed it thoroughly.
Are you sure you're up to it?
Are you kidding? I've been in training for it for 4 years. Longer if you count the wheelchair days.
Who better than you can reveal Carl's true identity?
I can't wait to tell the jury what that man has done and what he is capable of. So this little boy who appeared to you was your guide?
That's what I thought at first. He reminded me of this kid I knew back in 2nd grade who was thrown from a horse. First person I ever knew who died.
So what did he say to you?
Oh, lots of things. But mainly he told me to go back. That I was still needed here.
I'm so glad you listened to him.
Oh, I did. And then I realized how much he looked and sounded like Cass. Charlene. He was the essence of the child that I lost.
Oh, Frankie.
And I picked him up and I held him in my arms, and suddenly I was holding this little baby. Oh, it was so real, and I felt so peaceful. And I knew then that I had to tell Cass about the miscarriage.
Oh, yes. I think it's time. And it'll be all right, it will, because he loves you so much.
That's what I'm going to do. There are other children waiting to be born to us. That's what I'm going to tell Cass.
Mr. Winthrop,
Yes.
you've got us all believing in miracles.
Oh, I don't think there could have been one without Frankie's medical team. You guys were incredible.
Well, seeing you with Frankie was the most inspiring thing.
I've never seen doctors and nurses work so fast. Thank you so much for everything you did for Frankie.
Well, it did help that we had her records from her miscarriage.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, we didn't have to lose time matching blood.
Miscarriage?
Yes. Ironic. Losing that baby may have saved her life. Excuse me.
Frankie was pregnant? And you knew?
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, just in time. She's waiting for you.